Let's talk about foreign policy for a few moments. In Syria, what do you think is the answer there? Would you advocate for a no-fly or a safe zone? How
Yeah.
can we be humanitarian about the situation?
Secretary Clinton has espoused sort of a safe zone, no-fly zone approach. And I think and others have too. I think that's actually the right way to go. We've got to get NATO/UN or both in the game. The problem with Syria now is it's unraveled to a point where there's proxy wars going on between 4, 5, 6 state actors and non-state actors, and it's almost impossible to try and unwind it. I mean, the only way we're going to improve the situation the only way the world is going to improve the situation in Syria, everyone's got to stop shooting at each other. That's job one. So one of the ways you do that is to the no-fly zone. Helps a lot of that. So there's not going to be bombing from above and whatnot. And B, a real emphasis on having the UN and/or U.S. push our weight around, because it is a humanitarian crisis. And that was one of the questions that came up last night. If there's a humanitarian crisis, Rwanda, for instance, that's going on, but it has no national interest to the United States, do you get involved? Those are hard questions. Those are hard questions. I tend to think that if it's a humanitarian crisis to the proportion that Rwanda was, and I think Syria is, I think we have to get involved. But we go it alone. That's the bottom of the list. You get the UN involved, you get NATO involved, you get the local state actors involved, and if you have to throw your weight around, you do. And this was also the theme last night. I mean, I think this is not me saying this. People have been saying this for 30, 40 years. The United States has to be a force for peace, but have the ability to enforce it, have the ability to do the things we say we're going to do. A strong United States acts like a sea anchor for the rest of the world. And what I've seen lately, in the last 8, 10-ish years, is I think we've lost some of that. It's not off the chart. Some people are over exaggerate, but I think our posture has been flaccid. I think our abilities have been doubted. And I think that's hurt our effort at diplomatic approaches, because unfortunately sometimes when you're having diplomatic approaches, it's like, all right, diplomacy or else. And, it sounds like you're being a bully, but at some point, when you got to defeat evil, you have to defeat evil. So if it's a no-fly zone in Syria, I would agree with that. I hope UN/NATO/Turkey, everybody else, helps us. Now we got the Turks bombing the Kurds, and we're on the side of the Kurds, and ISIS is in there. You got Hezbollah, and then Iran's. It's out of control. Key thing: no one's flying, no one shoot, and that's where to start. And then you try and get as many actors to the table to try and stop the nonsense. I mean, it's gotten out of control, totally out of control. Not all our fault. I mean, the president's red line in the sand, I think, didn't help, because it goes to the flaccid posture thing I'm talking about. People don't doubt our ability or our resolve. I don't think they doubt our ability. They doubt our resolve to actually stop some of these things. But things were coming unwound there before that. I mean, with the Arab Spring spread across the Middle East, and no one knew which way was up. I'm still not sure people know which way is up.